It's the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.
Stoopers, the first name in frozen dinners, now introduces their new line of Bachelor Classics.
Bachelor Classics, that's for me. I like to eat.
Simple, that's the key. Simple, quick, and easy meals that every bachelor loves and can actually make themselves. Classics, like the plain uncooked hot dog, the fried bologna sandwich, peanut butter you eat with your finger.
I've had that.
The bowl of pudding, the big bag of chips, the handful of ham, the leftover cold pizza sitting out overnight.
Yeah.
Stoopers' new Bachelor Classics. Frozen entrees that are ridiculously simple. They all take just 1 minute in the microwave. You can push the 1 minute button, right?
I think so.
Sure you can. Try them all.
All at once?
No, you idiot. Enjoy the variety as you attempt to feed yourself on your own. Try the new Bachelor Classics from Stoopers, because face it, you're helpless.
I like meat.
Try them all at once. That's the one that got me. It's the KQ Morning Show. It's Thursday, November the 7th. Good morning. Excellent little bachelor shtick there, my man. And it's a perfect day for it because here's your top 5 at 6. Number 5, today is National Men Make Dinner Day.
What else is new?
Tell me about it. National Men Make Dinner Day. I made dinner last night, which was I ran out, got a bottle of wine, some cheese, and crackers. That was dinner. Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do.
Sure. Yeah.
So humans have been cooking for over 500,000 years. I mean, they realized a long time ago, let's put the leg of that thing over on that flame and let's see if it makes it tastier. So cooking meals, hardly a new thing. Men Making Dinner Day. This has not been around too long, but it's here. We've announced it, so now every man listening to me has no choice but to make dinner tonight. Tony, what are you going to make?
I actually am, because Rachel's out of town, so I've been doing that for the last couple days.
Now you're talking.
I make a really good stir fry.
Really?
Some chicken and veggies and a little soy sauce, peanut butter sauce.
Really?
And the key is that my kiddos actually like it.
Well, that was the first question.
Usually it's like, this isn't too horrible, Dad.
Yeah.
This isn't that bad.
Yeah.
Right on.
So
Zep, what's your specialty?
Well, last night got stoned to the gills.
Right.
Bowl of peanuts, pound of ham, and a half a pound of American cheese.
Put it in a blender.
Yeah, well, I didn't. I put it in a saucepan. I melt the cheese. I'm not a heathen, not a barbarian, for God's sakes.
Man, nothing like testing the plumbing as often as possible. It's a good plan. I have several different chili recipes. I've got a hell of a lasagna that I'm good with. But tonight we'll just have to see. We'll play it by ear. Very well could just be pot pie from a box into the oven. You never know with me. I'm a wild card kind of guy.
Pot pie.
Pickle roll-ups. That's been my thing lately. Been really into pickle roll-ups. Yeah.
Attaboy. Well, gentlemen, get out there and make dinner tonight. Enjoy yourself. Number 4 on your top 5 at 6. Art Weston, legend. My man holds records. He holds records for 9 different species of fish, the biggest. And last month, late in October, on Lake Mille Lacs, he caught a muskie 54 inches of muskie.
Holy hell, yeah.
I know just enough to know that's a giant muskie.
That's like the size of a kid.
Yeah, it is. It's a kid-sized muskie.
Yeah.
Yes, a goat.
I don't know what Art Weston is doing up there, but he's got the longest speckled peacock bass, the longest dorado, the longest long-nosed gar, spotted bass, smallmouth buffalo, white rock bass, and sorghum. My man's got 9 different types of fish, the longest on record.
Does he also have a job?
I don't know. It must be. He must have something like in his blood. I bet his secret is he just pricks his finger on the line a little bit. There's something going on with him. This is like an X-Files episode waiting to happen. Art Weston, well done, brother.
You'll notice the photo with Art and his big 54-inch muskie. It's dark out. Yeah, you got to go muskie hunting in the middle of the night. Yep. That's what I found, yeah. So I never got anything in the 50-inch range, obviously. They say it takes 1,000 casts. I must have thrown the big 2-pound lure at least 1,000 times. Never even caught one in the 40-inch range, but I did get a couple of 136-incher. That was my big one up there on White Bear at about midnight.
Yeah, that's a hell of a fish. I can't believe. Yeah, I'm looking at this picture, and it's not one of those where they show you, no, hold it like this so it looks bigger. He's just holding a Ford Pinto in the shape of a fish.
You got to get that thing in a boat, man, to take that photograph.
Yeah.
Luckily, most muskie you catch is pretty near the boat. It's not like you catch them way down deep, way out there, like a marlin or something like that, and it's 4 hours of pulling them in. They usually hit right near the boat.
Those muskies, they're teaching their little baby muskies, no, get near that. No, not too near. Oh, too close. Too close, man.
Never fall for the figure eight.
Do you eat a muskie, or is it just trophy fish?
No, you can eat a muskie. They have a delicious white meat. A little muskie chowder, maybe? Yeah, oh yeah, you can eat them.
Well, a reminder, Art Weston, it's Dad Make Dinner Night tonight. Enjoy that muskie, kids. Number 3 on your top 5 at 6, Ray Gun, the viral breakdancing sensation from this summer's Paralympics. Rachel Gunn has announced she's retiring from competitive breaking, mate. She was on a radio show in Australia, and she said, I still break, but I don't compete.
You never break.
Nah, really. Once it becomes comas, it takes away all the art, doesn't it? She was going to compete. She planned to keep competing, but it seems difficult for me now to approach a battle. A break battle. The level of scrutiny that's going to be there, people filming it will go online. It's just not going to mean the same thing, mate. They took away the ray gun from us. We were just getting to know her.
Oh, well, the ray gun memes will live on for years.
They certainly will.
She had that crane thing. That was a big one that she did, like from the Karate Kid. Yeah. That was a big move of hers.
Haven't they already announced they're not bringing breaking back to the next games? It was a one and done, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I feel like it was. And I'm not going to blame Ray Gun for that, but I'm going to.
It's pretty directly correlated. When you've been the most popular Halloween costume, you really wreck it for everybody.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point. I didn't want to say it. You can rip her apart. I just felt I just didn't want to cross that line. Number 2 on your top 5 at 6. Some folks at Beer Advocate took a look at all the ratings for beers. The website has been mentioning and having people rank beers for over 20 years. And they put together a list of the top 25 worst rated beers in the world. Your top 5, your worst rated beers. Number 5, Miller 64. Never even heard of it. I don't think I've ever even seen it. But then again, I'm not paying much attention to beers.
64 being was that the year it was brewed?
Could
ounces, yeah.
I'm not really sure what that means. Miller 64. It's an extra light. 64 calorie extra light beer.
Extra light. That's called water. Yeah.
Man. Yeah, I don't want to know. Keystone Light comes up next on the list. That's a given, I think. Sharps beer comes up next. Sharps, a British brew. Apparently I don't know, something. There's some bats in their belfry. Number 2, Natural Light. I was surprised by that. Natural Light.
Yeah, I was bummed about Natty Light too.
Yeah,
that's a good drinking on the boat beer.
I was going to say, in a pinch, it's worked for me before. I was surprised. But number 1 on your list, the worst ranked beer in the world, Budweiser Select 55.
What?
Yeah. Again, Budweiser Select 55, golden lager, but you guessed it, 55 calories. Oh, good God. We took all of the flavor and set it aside for your Budweiser 55.
Oh, my God.
Man, brown water in a can. Who's up for some?
Have a little beer with your buzz.
I'll tell you what. Hey, quick shout out to our friends in Woodbury this morning. Good morning, Woodbury.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody ever had a Budweiser 55 in Woodbury? I haven't.
Over at the Red Rock Tap Room, is that what it's called? I have a friend, Tammy, that works over there. Good morning, Tammy, if you're listening. I know she does. I think it's the Sheridan in Woodbury. Anyway, she told me that the Red Rock Tavern, that was the original name of Woodbury back in the 19th century. It was Red Rock over there. They thought that was just too cool of a name. They wanted something more dull and suburban, so they came up with Woodbury.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, Red Rock would rock, actually. You're not kidding. Number 1 on your top 5 at 6. This is shocking news that broke yesterday afternoon. The Molson Coors Bad Guys official beer consortium has decided they're closing the Leinenkugel's brewery in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. Oh. They are gone. Since 1867, they've been brewing in Chippewa Falls. And now, Miller Brewing bought the brewery in 1988. It's now Molson Coors, which picked up Miller. And they have decided, you know what? We're going to bring the whole operation over to Milwaukee. And we'll just do it there. 157 years in Chippewa Falls. And this is going down quickly. They said January 17th, last day. And here's the part that really blew my mind. The Leinenkugel family, former President Dick Leinenkugel gave an interview yesterday, and he said, we were not brought into this conversation. We're as surprised as anybody.
No kidding.
That is generally how the corporations do it, isn't it?
Yeah, that is
pull the rug.
Cutthroat nonsense. Boy, that is... I've only been to Chippewa Falls twice, but I went there because Leinenkugel's there. And when you're there, man, that's kind of what that whole town's about. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I mean, I know they have over a few hundred employees at the brewery. Now, Leinie's Lodge will stay open. So that'll remain open to the public, and you can go over there and have a good time and enjoy all the Leinie stuff and some music and all that jazz. But the brewery itself, not cooking up any beer there anymore. But, yeah, for a few hundred people looking for jobs right around the holidays, that's fun.
Yeah, that's
thanks,
rough
Molson.
news from Molson Coors. Well played, guys. Bunch of corporate douchebags.
Yeah.
No.
Douchebags. We got to move on. I'll just bitch about them some more at another time. Just getting started.
Great.
Wait, just wind me up and watch me roar. Woo! I'm on Team Liney myself. All right, let me ask you this. You got a day. You got to give up one thing. What's the most important thing to you? Sex, alcohol, chocolate, or Wi-Fi? That's right. Think about it. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
Boy, that must have been some misunderstanding when Peter Gabriel ducked out of Genesis back in the day, because the band apparently had at least 200 different singers come in and try out to be. They jammed with 200 different people before finally going, fine, Phil, just sing, whatever.
Yeah.
Imagine being Phil Collins after like the 7th dude is dismissed. You're like, guys, I'm already here. We don't need to add a guy to the payroll. Just let me sing.
What if he was criticizing every single one of those who auditioned?
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be perfect.
Yeah, making fun of him. No, and thank God also he went through a divorce. Otherwise, what would he have sung about? Every one of his songs, yeah.
Several. My man. Every time my man ran out of Muse, he was like, hold on, let me tank my life again.
Yeah.
Let me torch every good thing I've built with this woman. Hey, there's a song. Hey, a quick poll. Somebody asked a bunch of Americans about the 4 things. Which is most important to you on a daily basis? What would you have the hardest time going without for one day? Alcohol, chocolate, sex, or Wi-Fi? I'm just going to cut right to the chase. Overwhelmingly, Americans said Wi-Fi. Yeah. 40% said, but I get that. You can go a day without a drink. You can go a day without sex and a day without chocolate. But really, we're on our phones all the damn time. I'm not endorsing this. If anything, it's a clattering fall down the stairs indictment of how far off the frickin' point we've all become as a society. But 40% said Wi-Fi would be the hardest thing they could go without for a day.
I'm surprised it's not higher than 40%.
You know what? Actually, I am too. Number 2 on the list was sex. I mean, thank God. You know, we haven't completely
Yeah, if I don't
lost
get that
our
every
way.
day, man. Boy, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, really. Who were you talking to? 23-year-olds? What in the world?
I'm drunk on my Wi-Fi looking for sex every day.
Well, there's that. Just as long as you, and then you add chocolate just to extend the high just a little longer.
Whatever it takes to lure them over.
It's a perfect. I call it a poo-poo platter myself. Give me a Hershey bar and a beer and some Wi-Fi and some sex, and by God, I don't care what happens the rest of the day. I could be out of here by 7:38 a.m. Be done. Knock all four out and be good. Fair enough.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
This is the KQ Morning Show. It's Thursday, November 7th, and a whole lot of stuff went down on this day back in the day. On this day in 1962, check this out. Chicago Blackhawks goalie Glenn Hall, he sat out. And that meant his consecutive game streak ended at 502 games.
Damn.
In between the pipes, 502. He played, of course, without a mask, as was the custom of the time. 7 seasons, 2 with Detroit, 5 with Chicago, never missed a game. My back, my ankles, and my knees hurt just reading that number. That is incredible. That will never, ever be broken. I mean, think about it. There's no chance a goalie will ever scratch 100 straight games now. Every team carries more than one goalie. Incredible.
Yeah.
Glenn Hall. Dude.
Stud.
For the ages.
Then you got a scar or two out of that, too.
Oh, 1 or 2.
You ever sat in the net for anything like that?
What's that?
Ever sat in the net before?
No. Good God, no.
Did a promotion in St. Cloud hockey. They let me put all the pads on like 20 years ago and get in the net. And some damn good hockey players up at St. Cloud. It's not obviously at the pro level, however. And I never saw one of them. Just felt them as they whizzed past my head and whizzed through my crotch. They kept thinking, what do they call that? Yeah, they kept whizzing them there in the old 5-hole. What is that called? Anyway. Made me awfully nervous.
That's called someone else's world, man. That's incredible. On this day in 1991, Irvin Magic Johnson announced he had tested positive for HIV and he was retiring from basketball. 11 seasons, 8 NBA final appearances, 5 rings. That's your greatest point guard ever. I don't care what anybody says. Inarguable. 1999, Tiger Woods on this day became the first golfer since Ben Hogan to win 4 straight tournaments. You cannot overstate the significance and badassery of peak Tiger Woods. The man made golf cool. What else do you need to say?
I thought when he went on his sex rampage, he made it even cooler.
He never stopped trying. Stopped trying.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. You're listening to the KQ Morning Show. Steve, Zeb, Tony, and Ryder on 92 KQRS.
This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Thursday, November the 7th. Good morning, one and all. Today on the show, Sam Ekstrom will join us. We'll be talking about this weekend's Vikings contest. Both of those parts of the show, I think, are more than worth your time. Yesterday, Rosemary and I got lunch. She had a beverage at lunch, and as we were leaving in the glass, it was like a sweet tea on ice. And we walked by the register, and they had the like little plastic cups. I mean, paper cups, like you'd get a fountain drink to-go glass. Mm-hmm. And I grabbed one because she still had some of her drinks. She was going to pour it into a to-go cup to take with her. And the woman at the register just glared at me.
Oh, hands off.
And I was like, "Hey, is this a problem? Do you?" And then she was like, "No, that's fine. Go ahead." And I was like, we paid for the drink here. We had a whole meal. And now I just want to have a to-go cup with ice. And you're going to give me the look? I couldn't believe it. I wasn't sure if she wanted me to ask, because I didn't ask ahead of time, or if she was going to say you have to pay $1 for the to-go. I was like, man, they'll just hit you with the extra charges every time. Yeah. But she relented, and I didn't give her a mean look. I was just like, she's like, okay, go ahead, that's fine.
She just wanted you to ask first. She's in charge.
I guess so.
Or she recognized you from a Black Crowes album cover and wasn't one of her favorite albums, maybe. She's like, that guy.
Well, that could very well have been it. I knew those guys were cup takers.
Yeah.
But, it's just like every now and again, you just think, can I just not get a little extra for this? I mean, come on, what's the hassle? I thought about that because a gentleman rented a car from Hertz. And as I said before, I was renting a bunch of cars a couple years ago when I first got to town. I'd have one for a week at a time. And I was always kind of amazed. I was like, when I checked this car out, it said it would be $279 for the week. And then I get there and it's like $400. And I'm like, what the hell is this? Or whatever the numbers were. There's always an extra tax. Airport tax. Hennepin County tax. Dude with long hair tax. I don't know what the taxes were. But it was always more. A gentleman turned in a car to Hertz that he had rented for a month. He rented a car with the words unlimited mileage on the contract.
Okay.
My man put 25,000 miles on this car in 1 month.
That's not possible.
25,000 miles in 1 month. Because he thought unlimited meant unlimited. Yeah. Apparently, he was wrong because the Hertz rental employee said, I'm sorry, sir, I have to charge you extra. It's going to be $10,000. $10,000 more than he was anticipating for his car rental.
Sure, they weren't anticipating him bringing it back with 25,000 freaking miles on it.
He was arguing. He said the contract says unlimited. The Hertz manager said, but that doesn't prevent us from charging more. Yeah, you took your miles. They went back and forth. Of course, the guy had this whole thing. This whole conversation was captured on his phone, and he posted a TikTok video of he arguing with the manager. The manager really just got. He wasn't having it. He threatened to have the guy arrested.
Well, here we go.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. You need to leave now.
But you're going to charge this to $10,000 to my credit.
Yes.
When this literally, that's not even allowed. But I never signed.
Show me where it says I can't charge it.
Right here, it literally says I won't get charged anything. It says miles allowed, free miles. It literally says to refer to this if there's anything extra. I've never signed anything saying that I could only go 100 miles a day or anything like that, or that I would have to pay more.
Right. But you also never, like you said earlier,
you just agreed, right? I never have signed that.
You never signed anything that's in that. But you also never signed anything saying we allowed you to drive 25,000 miles.
No, unlimited is what 100,000 miles.
No, it is not.
How is unlimited not?
We're done. Just leave, please.
No, explain to me how unlimited.
You can either leave or I will have you arrested.
Oh,
it's your choice.
How is unlimited miles not? Wow. Now you're going to call the cops on me, okay?
Yes. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you or anything else.
I know you are, but what am I?
Man, there's a certain Hertz employee who tied his shoes a little too tight that morning.
You know, the one thing I would think is I flew into a small ski town one time, rented a Hertz, and they said, hey, we're going to put a $2,000 hold on your credit card for this car. And I said, I'm sorry, I've rented from Hertz many times, and I've never had anything like maybe a $250 hold or something like that. Mm-hmm. And they said, well, for a lot of Hertz ownership, we own the cars. Hertz is just our local franchisee, but they make us buy the cars. We own the cars. We're in charge of the cars. And Hertz just puts a sign up in front of the building for us.
Wow.
So this guy... Okay. This guy sitting there isn't an employee. He's the owner of that car and the owner of that business, I believe. Now, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what I ran into in a small town out in the middle of Montana. It wasn't a small town, Missoula, out in Missoula. And they said, no, we own the cars. And so, but still, unlimited is unlimited, brother. That word is pretty well defined.
When I'm at the Ponderosa all-you-can-eat buffet, don't take away plate number 7. It's all you can eat, and if I can get to 8 or 9 plates, by God, I'm going to get to 8 or 9 plates.
Why did they change the phrasing of that to all you care to eat? It used to be all you can eat. Now it's all you care to eat.
Maybe they were thinking it's less pressure that way. Because for me, in my experience, certainly when I was a student, all you can eat meant I read that as you better eat all you possibly can because you don't know when your next meal's coming from.
Until your guts explode. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Right.
Pretty much, yeah.
Exactly.
All you care to eat. All you care to drive.
So that would be 800 miles a day. 25,000 miles in 1 month. 800 miles a day. They say here 16 hours of driving per day.
I'm curious, surely there's a tracker of some sort on the car, in the car's computer with GPS. Where in the hell was this guy going? How do you put 800 miles a day on a car for a month straight? That's pretty intense, man.
5 full round trips, from New York to California. 5 full round trips in 1 month.
Wow.
Oh, you're saying that? Okay, he didn't do that. That we
No,
know.
he
You're
didn't,
saying
but
he
that
could
how
have.
many
That would
miles?
be the mileage. Wow.
Yeah.
And by the way, where does the $10,000 come from? The guy didn't say. He said, "That's way too many miles. I'm going to charge you $10,000."
Yeah, I just pulled that out of his.
Yeah, right. That's insane.
Yeah.
So anyway, this blew up online. End of story. Hertz got involved and said, "No, sorry, unlimited is unlimited, and we're not going to charge you $10,000." I mean, good luck ever renting from Hertz again or any other car. I guarantee you, Avis has this guy's name. Budget, they all do.
Yeah.
Like, oh, crap. Hey, Tim. Hey, it's Mike over at Avis. What's that guy's name? Just give me his name. Don't even need his license number. Just give me the name and the town he's from. All right, tell you what. Give me his name and his birthday. All right, I'm gonna give it to the guy $1. Hang on, I got Sixt on the line. Sixt wants to know.
Yeah, like the casinos do, with those guys that count the cards. They know them. They put up pictures and their aliases and.
I've never rented from Sixt, and I never will, because SIXT shouldn't be a word. I'm sorry. Probably a great company. Could be some really wonderful people, but no. First time I saw it, I was like, that's not happening.
Just grammatically not working for you?
I mean, a T to a Z is bad enough on Hertz, but you want me to go Sixt? Not going to do it. Not going to do it. Hey, let me ask you this. When you book a flight and you're going somewhere, do you check in right away? When you get the little notification, it's time to check in. Do you just go ahead and do it? Do you wait? Is it something you're already thinking about ahead of time? What's your protocol, Tony, on the check-in? Is there a thought process to it on any level?
I wait till I'm pushed.
Till you're pushed?
Yes.
You got to be forced into it. Ryder, are you like,
I don't do it immediately when I get the email, but I try and do it the day ahead of time just to make things smoother.
Yeah, you just want to make sure, because they're overselling and they're going to try. I think they're going to try to bounce somebody, and they'll probably do it in reverse order of how quickly you checked in. That's what I think. I could be wrong. But there's a new thing. People are talking about how fun it is, the viral hack. It's called Check-In Chicken. And it's not a question of checking in and trying to make sure you make your flight. It's a question of trying to get a premium seat for free. Apparently, if you're on a plane that isn't sold out and they have upgrades, either exit rows with more legroom or even maybe a first class seat, if they don't have anybody in that seat right before the plane takes off, you check in at the last possible minute, you can get the upgraded seat for free. They want someone in those seats, apparently, especially if the flight's oversold. Now, you're taking a big chance that somebody else might be doing it also, but people are saying, like, no, if you wait till the perfect time, and without a single guarantee it's even going to work, it's just one of those high-risk, high-reward options that people are really excited about, because sometimes they do give you the bump up to the better seat without charging you extra. To which I say, really? This is what you're going to do with your life?
Yeah.
I book a flight. I just assume I'm on Southwest all the time. And, I like to pay the extra for the early bird check-in so I don't have to worry about being in Group C. But that's it. I don't think about it again. It's going to check me in. And then I get there, and then I just think to myself, well, I've just got to look as big and scary as possible so someone doesn't sit down right next to me. That's as much as I put into this. I'm just gonna look like that large guy, and sometimes I don't shave, and I got long hair, and I'll just scowl at you, and it never works. They still sit down next to me, but I try.
You're too adorable to pull that off. I'm still trying to raw dog a flight. So I'm still way back on that trend from about 6 months ago, trying to raw dog my way through a flight.
Have you made it through a whole flight, like one way?
Raw dogging it? Yeah. It's called being hungover and passing out. I do it all the time. It's not a big deal. I don't need a challenge, I've fallen asleep before that sucker wheels have started rolling, and I wake up when those wheels hit the tarmac.
Proud of you.
Oh, I've done that many times. In fact, more often than not, hungover or not, it's become Pavlovian at this point. I'm almost always asleep before takeoff.
I love to sleep on flights.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Great. Rosemary and our son Connell cannot sleep on a plane to save their life. Me and our daughter Marley, we're out before they close the door, both of us. And when we take, if all four of us are on a plane, Rosemary will go, well, no, you can't sit with Marley because then you guys will just be asleep and then we'll just be over here awake. And I'm like, no, that's why we're going to sit together. She's like, well, that doesn't seem fair. I'm like, okay, whatever bizarre kind of logic that is, keep it to yourself. You guys sit over there and talk. We're going to sleep right here.
Yeah.
We just flip all the unessential breakers down. Check it down. I'm out. Thank you very much. Have you ever woken up, say, from one of your legendary hangovers, any of you guys, and said, man, I wish I could forget yesterday? Or have you ever said, like, I really would love to forget the last couple weeks of my life? How about, I really wish I could forget the last few decades? Well, one guy figured out how to do just that. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Thursday, November the 7th. First things first, would just love to say good morning to Richfield. Oh, all of our friends in Richfield. Glad to have you with us. If you're just getting up, if you're just heading out, getting in the car, heading off, glad that you're making this show part of your drive. Much love to Richfield.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm a down in the valley guy, but no name records because you can't have too many record stores that sell top quality bongs. And vinyl, I mean.
Oh, yeah.
And you can find all that. And they have a pinball machine at No Name Records in Richfield. Good morning.
Fan of No Name myself. Been in there a few times. Danny and everybody down there. But no, Ryder, don't worry. It's okay. We're all friends
my
here.
My best friend's dad worked at No Name when we were in high school.
Nice.
So they called him the Doc.
The Doc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's got, there's always a Doc at a cool store like that.
Yeah.
As well there should be. Taken right from the, you got to be kidding me. You don't mean this is a Netflix movie? You're telling me this really happened? Check this out. Luciano Diadamo, an Italian gentleman. What a name. Wouldn't that be better than, hey, it's KQ Morning Show, I'm Luciano Diadamo. That'd be so much cooler than, my name's Steve Gorman, I'm doing the KQ Morning Show. You know what? Maybe I'll start saying that. Hey, it's Luciano Diadamo on this KQ Morning Show. I like that. I'm going to see if it sticks.
Yeah, your Minnesota buddies are just going to call you Lucy.
That'll be work. That's totally fine. This is a great place to be known as Lucy. Check this out. My man is 60 years old. He was hit by a car, a hit and run. He was walking. There was a hit and run situation. He got busted by a car. Bang. In a coma for a little while. And then he wakes up and he has lost 39 years of his memory.
What?
39 years of his memory gone. He woke up and was convinced he was the 24-year-old man that he had been 39 years ago. He was engaged to his 19-year-old fiance, who was standing at his hospital bed when he woke up with gray hair, 58 years old, and saying, Luciano, you're awake. And he's like, who's this old bag standing at my foot?
God, weird.
Their son came in. He's 35 years old. Papa, you're here. He's like, who's this kid? Who's this dude? Why is a 35-year-old man crying at my bedside? He quite literally forgot 39 years of his life. Didn't recognize his wife, had no idea he'd ever been married, had no idea he'd had a son. He's 60, and he's trying to put it all, he's in his 60s now, he's trying to put it all back together. Basically, 40 years wiped. Schwamp.
Weird.
Yeah, hand him a mirror.
Well, they did, and he was very, very confused. I mean, he wasn't in a coma for 39 years. He was only in a coma for a few days. But the head injury erased back to a time when it took away everything back to when he was 24.
Why 40? That's fascinating.
It's really crazy. So for me, I mean, this is me like right now waking up, and it's 1985, and I'm going, hey, hold on a minute. What the hell? Who are all you people?
Right.
Yeah, a reset. Well, it sounds kind of cool, doesn't it? I mean,
maybe it sounds cool. Maybe it sounds like I can't imagine. 5 months later, he's still trying to figure out like how to get on with his life. He just lost 4 decades. He so obviously his wedding, his son's entire existence, 35 years. This kid's been alive.
Yeah.
Luciano knows nothing about it. Trying to rebuild that relationship with his wife. And again, I mean, it's in my mind, I keep having to remind myself, wait, he wasn't in a coma for 39 years. He was in a coma for like a week. But he woke up, and in his mind, it was 39 years gone.
Was he retired? Is he like, where do I work?
He's now he's working as a maintenance man at a school. It gives him, he said he was looking for a sense of normalcy, so he's got a schedule. He's remembering things that are happening since he woke up. The memory turned back on for new things, but he's just lost all this time.
I'm thinking of all of the things you could get away with. I mean, that's our card. That's what we play, us guys. I don't remember doing that. I don't remember that. Of course, we're usually cohabitating or partnered up with someone who remembers all of that very well in great detail. But yeah, just this guy's got the get out of jail free card. Sorry, I just don't remember.
The bummer is that he's not a mafia don. Because that would really come in handy. You know how they all pretend to be crazy when they finally get busted. You know, 67-year-old mafia guy been on the run for 30 years, and then they show up in court and they haven't shaved. They're wearing a bathrobe. He's got a sniff in his butt and stuff. All that, like, hey man, smell my finger, and you're like, this guy runs a crime organization. They all try it. This would be great.
I mean, you could really mess with him, though, couldn't you? Hey, man, you give me $100 every payday. You've been doing it for 40 years.
Yeah.
That's exactly. Oh, my God. Can you imagine?
Because of that one thing you did to me when I was younger, remember? Of course you don't, but just give me the $100. I mean, you could really F with this guy.
I mean, if I woke up and if in my mind it was 1985, it would only take a couple days where I'd go like, why are movie trailers so long now? What, you just gave away the whole plot.
Yeah, right.
Wait a minute. I don't have to go see the movie now. What the hell's this?
You're going to want to wear what you wore 40 years ago.
Oh, man. It's sadly not that different. Jeans and T-shirts, and then just a lot of. I was 40 years ago. I spent every day just waiting for a basketball game to break out. I was just playing ball all the time. So usually some high tops, pair of shorts, tank. Just out walking around. Hey, what's going on, man? I'm on my way to class, unless a game breaks out, and then I'm ready. It's good times. 40 years ago. I mean, that is. Good Lord. There's so many things to think about, but then you think to yourself, well. Hopefully I made good decisions back then. I mean, like, it just brings to mind, okay, let's take it all back to our 20s. Well, you go back, what would you do differently? Let's reverse some of the historical precedent we've established. Let's forget the memory loss. Just go back to being 25 years old, Zepp. What's the first change you make? Boom.
Set up my 401k.
Attaboy. Oh, sure. That thing.
Get that sucker cooking for me.
$70. How's that?
Yeah, I might be up to $17 now, man. I don't know. I've enjoyed, I've enjoyed everything. I've had a few mishaps along the way, but I don't know immediately that I'd change anything.
I had a guy sit me down in my late 20s, and he talked to me all about the glory of compounding interest.
Yeah.
And this is what was happening in my mind as he was talking. I was like, oh, wait, I just came up with a cool part. I wonder if I can put that on that new song. I was just looking at him like, It was like Homer Simpson in court. Meow, 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 meow. That's what he's listening to on the witness stand. But if I go back, we could all go back and say we make smarter decisions. The first thing that comes to mind has nothing to do with money, doesn't have anything to do with with women or a woman or my wife or anything. It's simply this. I probably would have worn earplugs.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, because, man, that TV can't get loud enough. And, I'm sitting here with you guys. We're wearing headphones. It's great. I take them off. I leave. I drive home at the end of the show. And just it's not like a high-pitched shrill, but there's always a gong in my head in the distance. The tinnitus, or if you prefer tinnitus.
Yeah.
Nice, and it can be kind of zen-like. It can, the tail end of that. There's always something going on. I would have thrown in some damn earplugs. Tony, what do you think? Go back. You're 25 years old. You can make a couple changes.
I wouldn't have hesitated. I would have jumped at every opportunity and said yes to everything.
Yeah.
So.
That sounds horrible. Yes to everything?
Well, pretty much.
Well, they say in life,
adventures.
We regret the stuff we didn't do way more than the stuff we did, because at least if you did, life rewards action. I've said that for you. I love that. That's my personal mantra, if you will. And sometimes the reward is you get your ass kicked, but you learn something, hopefully, along the way. 651-989-ROCK is the KQ Talking text line. Go back to your 20s. Make a decision. Switch one thing. What would it be? I'd love to hear from you. Ryder, your 20s were like 5 minutes ago. So, I
sadly,
mean,
no.
you know, does something pop out right
You
away?
know, the first thing that I thought of, and my dad was like, you should learn how to do computer stuff. But Christina, our digital person, like super smart, we were talking about paywalls and that sort of thing. And she's like, I just write a little HTML code and I kind of jump past all of those paywalls. And I was like, damn, I wish I knew how to do that.
Wow.
That'd be a
Hold
real
on a
cool
minute.
trick.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I had some. It's funny, like Zepp, you said your 401k. I was still in my 20s. I think I was 27, maybe 28. And I met a guy at a bar who was one of the people who had been on, he built Netscape, one of the early browser websites. Sure. And he was my bass player's neighbor, and they were good. They had become friends. And this guy in a booth at a bar looked me in the eye and explained the future to me. He was an oracle. He said, the internet is coming. It's the World Wide Web, the internet. And I had heard of this thing out there. This is like 92, at the latest 1993. And he said, everyone's going to have computers in their home. Everyone's going to be hooked up. You're going to have email, the mail like now. You'll be able to write letters to people online. You'll hit a button. It'll go right to their inbox. He explained it. And he even told me about a company called America Online. AOL is going to corner the market, but then there will be others. And it said there will be these websites are being built right now. I mean, he explained the whole thing. And again, meow, 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 meow.
I mean,
he said, this guy looked me in the eye and gave me the exact specific instruction. This is right when like my band's second record had come out. And we were at that moment really doing well. And he said, I tell you what, man, if you have like $5,000 or $10,000 that you're not going to miss, go get AOL stock. It's going to be worth a fortune one day. And again, meow, 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 get me another beer. You're buying pictures. This is a fun night. Didn't think for a second about anything he told me. And years later, when AOL and Time Warner like merged, when that all happened, I remember thinking, that was what this guy was talking about. He said it would all blow up one day. And the New York Times, just to taunt me, in their article about the merger, I kid you not, you could look it up. It says, if in 1992 you had put $10,000 in, it was $6 million. He gave me marching orders that I drank my way right around. Anyway, life goes on.
I mean,
Still, you know what? Still, the earplugs. I'd still go back and do the earplugs.
Yeah,
because when I want to watch the Martha Stewart doc on Netflix, I don't want to have it up so loud.
The problem is if you go back and you do it differently before your kids were born, you don't get the kids.
Yeah.
Man, ain't that the truth? Is it the truth?
I don't know. We're just hypothesizing. Maybe we get to keep the kids.
I said that, and all of a sudden I was like, wait a minute. I'd probably still want to. We would have had kids. We might have had more kids. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe
different kids.
Maybe better kids. Yeah. They'd be nicer to us.
Wow, no kidding. They would be until we have to cut them off for their own good. I'm looking forward to that conversation. I just can't figure out how to get it started.
Yeah.
No. This is going to hurt me a lot more than you. This is going to be the best thing that ever happened to you. I'm changing my number.
Yeah.
I don't know how Zelle works. Get away from me, kid.
What?
Speaking of which, by the way, that offhanded reference, the Martha Stewart doc on Netflix is incredible.
Oh, boy, a Martha Stewart documentary.
Yeah,
I'm going to put that right at the bottom of my documentary. There's so many good documentaries out there. Martha Stewart, really?
Yeah. Hey, trust me, I'm not a fan, but I watched it and I really enjoyed it. 2 hours, in and out, bing, bang, boom. I like anything where I don't have to wait for the next episode.
They get into a relationship with Snoop Dogg.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the tail end of that, for sure. No, it's fantastic. What a ride. What a crazy situation. And by the way, insane. I remember when she got busted for insider trading, and she did 5 months in jail and the whole thing. What a crock that was! It's completely insane. They just targeted her because she was Martha Stewart.
Destroyed her.
Yeah,
and her career.
They tried to. Hey, man, she got. It was a good shin kick.
You are talking to a guy that tried to date the woman, so I don't need the documentary. I've lived it.
I'm sorry to bring up a sensitive subject, Zepp. That you did not make an appearance in the documentary. I hate to tell you again.
What?
I hate to break your heart.
But I sent her that long. This happened on the KQ Morning Show. She announced that she was getting on. I think at 72 years of age, she was getting on Match.com. Okay. I was on Match.com, so on the morning show, I found her profile, and we all cooked up. Everybody pitched in, a couple of lines, and we sent it off to Martha in the hopes that I might get a date with Martha Stewart, but I did not. Sadly, I didn't measure up. And all of it was lies, too. Lies we thought she would buy, but...
No, her loss.
There was a muffin basket just sent here recently. That must have been for you.
Watch your mouth.
Martha's Muffins. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Salty.
651-989 Rock is the KQ Talk and text line. Our buddy Terry texted in. We're talking about what would you do differently. He said, I would have married my current wife, not the ex, if I knew then what I know now. Yeah, that checks out. But something good came out of that first one. You figured out who you were, and they led you to the second one.
Yeah, you don't get the current without the ex.
Yeah, see, there you have it. It's a fun game to play until you realize it's not, and then oh my God, I'm just gonna keep looking forward. Gonna keep on looking forward, ladies and gentlemen. That's all there is left to do.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. It's the KQ Morning Show. Steve, Zepp, Tony, and Ryder on Minnesota's classic rock. 92 KQRS.
This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Thursday, November the 7th. Let's just take a quick moment and tip our cap to Medicine Lake. Come on, Medicine Lake. What's happening out there?
What is happening out in Medicine Lake? I got to check in on Medicine Lake. It's been a while.
No, I'm flying blind here. Ryder, you got any Medicine Lake info for me?
It's there.
I love the name.
Yeah.
I love the name. I still have so much to learn. That's the good thing. I've been here almost 2 years, and I'm still finding new places within those places, new information at all times. I'm always up for information. If you got something you want to share about Medicine Lake, then by God, give us the info. Hit us up. Call us or text us. I mean, I'm fascinated.
Yeah, I wish duck hunting was legal in city limits. That's what I'll tell you about Medicine Lake.
Oh, really?
Every time I cruise past Medicine Lake. No, I mean, what do they got? The regional trail there or whatever. I've been up there before. And, Duck City on the north side up there. Need some hunters out there. They used to let us hunt out on the golf courses. They'd let us come out to some of the golf courses up north, like North Branch in that area, Princeton, in the early morning hours and blast the geese, get rid of some of the geese. That's always kind of surreal when you're sitting in a goose blind in the dark, and as the sun comes up, there's a guy out there moving the hole on the green or whatever. Man. There's a guy running around there with a ranger.
If I've said that once, I've said it 1,000 times.
Yeah. Moving the hole.
Yeah. You know it. Sam Ekstrom is joining us on the KQ Morning Show. Sam, good morning, sir.
Good morning to you. How's it going?
Going well. It was great to get off the schneid against the Colts, and now another AFC South matchup this week on the road at Jacksonville. It's real tempting to, feel way too good about this Sunday's game. Why are we concerned? Give me a reason not to be too confident going into this one.
They've got a couple good edge rushers. That can get after the passer, Trevon Walker, former first-round pick, Josh Hines-Allen. They've got a running back, Tank Bigsby, who a lot of people probably have never heard of in their life. Had a really nice year. So there's a couple pieces that are nice on Jacksonville, but, and the Vikings turn the ball over. The Vikings have been turning it over all year long, and it almost burned them against the Colts. So I think that would be sort of a self-inflicted problem to look out for.
That makes perfect sense. Sam Darnold, a guy who I've kind of accepted there's going to be at least one a game, if not a turnover, a could-be turnover, a boneheaded pass. That said, he's got a passer rating of 100 or higher in 7 of 8 starts. He's sitting along with Lamar Jackson for tops in the NFL this year. Are you looking at Sam Darnold now after 8 games and thinking to yourself, yeah, this is the guy for the next few years? I mean, has he done enough for you to think JJ's still going to be holding a clipboard next year?
No, he is not. And I think if the contract situation was a little different, then I might think differently. But I don't get the sense that you can just go and bring him back on a moderate deal. I mean, I think he's going to cost a lot of money in free agency if this continues. If he kind of keeps this level or maybe even improves in the second half of the season, I think he's going to cost a ton. And the Vikings don't want to go back to that life where they're paying the quarterback $40 million, $30 million, whatever it is. I think that they really like their succession plan in J.J. McCarthy. So shy of a deep playoff run, like NFC Championship, Super Bowl, then you probably have the conversation. Mm-hmm. I don't think that they're going to make Sam Darnold a long-term solution. I just don't. I think that you're also seeing just some of those fatal decision-making flaws pop up here and there that's the reason he didn't succeed until this point in his career.
Sam Ekstrom's with us on the KQ Morning Show. Sam, Minnesota, the front seven looked pretty darn good against the Colts. You know, we had talked about after two games where they got the defense was kind of shredded. The Lions and the Rams kind of had their way. Things looked more normal on Sunday night. The run defense was great. Secondary had a bunch of great pass breakups, etc. Do you feel like it's more the Colts just didn't have enough to challenge us, or do you think that Flores made some adjustments? Do you feel as good about the D right now as you did in the first 4, 5, 6 weeks?
Mm-hmm. It is encouraging to see that against a lower tier offense that the defense can still look pretty ferocious. That's a good thing. The defense isn't totally broken. They just faced a couple really good offenses the previous two games, and against I'd say a bottom third offensive unit in the NFL, they looked back to their old selves. And I was trying to think what did they really adjust, and I don't know if there were a whole lot of changes other than some personnel stuff. They played Dallas Turner, their first round pick, a lot more. He'd basically been taken out of the game plan, and they played him for 30 snaps in that Colts game, and he had a really nice performance. I just think the Colts didn't have a lot in the way of weapons, and when you stop the run, it helps everything. It puts teams in bad situations. You can blitz more, and they stopped Jonathan Taylor the whole night. So that was really the impetus, I think, for what I'm saying is a shutout, guys. I mean, look at it. They gave up a fumble recovery for a touchdown. Then the first field goal was off of an interception. And then the second one was against the prevent defense at the end when it didn't matter. That was basically a shutout that they pitched on Sunday night.
Mm. Yeah, now you're talking. Now this conversation's been nice and polite, but enough is enough. I mean, this is it. This is where the Vikings, they've gotten themselves healthy. The weapons that they need are in place. They picked themselves up a left tackle. They've got the AFC South to beat up on here. The Jaguars with the worst defense, or very near the worst defense in the league. I think Trevor Lawrence is still banged up a little bit. You can speak to that. Then the Titans, and you've got the Bears on the road. And then things get serious. And if you want to have a team in January that's going to make a run, that's going to make a go of this nice record they have, starting with the Lions on January 5th, this is where it starts. No more excuses, no more silly mistakes. It's time to hammer the Jaguars and then go over to Tennessee and hammer the Titans if you're going to be that team. Well, how's Trevor Lawrence looking?
Trevor Lawrence limited in practice yesterday with that shoulder. Now, they brought in C.J. Beathard to the roster. They also have Mac Jones on the roster. So limited is tough. I don't know what limited could mean. One snap. It could mean 20 snaps in practice. Limited is a very vague term. But the fact that there's rumblings about this makes you wonder if Trevor Lawrence is going to get a game off. I mean, if Jacksonville has any delusions of making some kind of run and getting back in this playoff race, and a couple of years ago they did this. They started off awful, and then they actually closed really well and won a playoff game. If they have any delusions of making the postseason, you got to think Trevor Lawrence kind of has to play through this, don't you? They can't afford more than maybe one more loss this season. He's got to play, I think. So I'm still expecting him. But, yeah, we'll see what the injury report says today. Limited was the designation yesterday.
Sam Ekstrom's with us on the KQ Morning Show. The schedule's an odd one right now. The first of 3 road games in a row, followed by 3 in a row at home. I guess if they take care of business, 3 games they will be favored in: Jaguars, Titans, Bears, and then coming back home, Cardinals, Falcons, Bears. It's not too much at all to say they should win all 6 of these games, but does 3 in a row on the road, do you feel, especially later in the season, that can actually start to wear on the team?
That is weird. Like, is this a baseball schedule? You've got like a 3-game road trip and a 3-game homestand. That's really peculiar, and you don't see that very often. But it's not, again, where you're traveling overnight and playing the next day. You get to come home right after the game. You get the whole week. I don't think that it's all that taxing the way that they do it, and they travel so well with these luxury jets and they stay in the best hotels. It's not high stress travel, I wouldn't say.
Right.
So I'm not too worried about the travel aspect of it. I think that the opponents are what's more important, and these are not challenging opponents. You laid out the next 6. I think that Arizona will be. I think that Atlanta will be tough. You get the Kirk Cousins revenge game. I think those are the 2 that you probably worry about a little bit. But these 3 road games coming up, you should be able to win them all relatively comfortably. But, it's the NFL. Weird stuff happens all the time. So don't get caught as that team that gets shocked or upset. And that comes back to not turning the ball over, not making silly mistakes that lead to penalties. Those are some things that have held the Vikings back at times this year, and they still can't afford to slip up and let that happen.
Yeah, I mean, this team has to start right now, don't you think? I mean, with the Cardinals and the Falcons coming into town, I mean, you've got some teams that have some firepower. They're playing some real good ball right now. You got the Packers again and wrap it up with the Lions. But, I mean, for the Vikings, for fans now, we want the next level. We've seen a really good team do some really good things with some stumbles and some mistakes in each game. But it's time to start whooping. These next 2 games have to be double-digit wins. And I know in the NFL, a win is a win. You'll take 1 point over anyone on any given Sunday. But this team needs to start firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, and the way you laid that out, Zepp, I mean, there's a couple different paths here. The schedule lines up where you could get on another run. You could put together a long winning streak, and you could threaten winning 13 games this season. Or you could limp through this stretch. You could tread water, probably still make the playoffs, but you could go into the playoffs with 10, 11 wins, and no one feels great about it, and you're going on the road as a wild card team. I mean, I think there's a couple different avenues. Are you a good team, or are you a great team? And this is a chance to establish yourself as a great team if you can do your job and beat up on the NFL's worst.
Sam Ekstrom's with us on the KQ Morning Show. One member of the Vikings, very familiar with Jacksonville, is, of course, Cam Robinson, who just came up from Jacksonville, a team he played for in 94 games before coming up here just last week. First things first, not a bad first game in the purple and gold. Cam looked pretty good to me. How did you feel about his performance?
Yeah, I thought it was good, too. The pass protection has always been his calling card. His entire career, he's been a good pass protector, and he stepped right in, and he protected the passer pretty well. That's what, if you could copy-paste that for the next half a season, that's what you would love to have from Cam Robinson, and it gives you a little bit of relief that there is survival without Christian Darrisaw. And now maybe he can share a little bit of intel about the opposition this weekend. He obviously has been there. I assume the longest tenured Jaguar. There can't be too many other Jaguars that were there for 9 years.
No.
He should be able to tell you a thing or two about their pass rush scheme.
I was going to ask. He's got to have some insight into that for sure. Sam Ekstrom's with us on the KQ Morning Show. Sam has been covering the Vikings since 2014, host and executive producer with the Locked On Sports Minnesota Podcast Network. Sam, let's go ahead and talk about this game then. How do you see it shaking out? Give me your pick.
This feels like another one of those pseudo home games where the crowd is very purple and there's a lot of Minnesotans in that stadium. I think that the Vikings win comfortably. I think it's 31-19. Minnesota gets the victory against Jacksonville. They don't have to stress in this fourth quarter, guys. I think this is going to be a good game for the offense. Jacksonville does not play defense really at all, and I think it's going to be a nice one for the Vikings fans.
Boy, that would be nice. Like Zepp said, you take a win if it's 1 point, but man, a double-digit win is always a wonderful thing. And if there was ever a time and a team that is happy to see that AFC South part of the schedule coming up, I imagine it's the Vikings right now. That's just a bunch of dogs in that division.
Yeah.
Jacksonville was going to trade a bunch of people at the deadline too. They didn't really, other than Cam Robinson. So they still have a lot of their players there. I thought they might just be demoralized after trading a bunch of their roster. But hey, if the Vikings blow them out, I think their head coach could be in trouble too. I think Doug Peterson's on the hot seat.
Yeah, I think that's very safe to say. But it's kind of fascinating. The guy won a Super Bowl with a backup quarterback, if memory serves, with the Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah. And then Philly moved off of him shortly thereafter, and now it seems like he's run out of rope in Jacksonville. It's a tough thing. I mean, it's one thing for Vikings fans to recognize, boy, the right coach, it's just as much luck as anything else, and you got to hang on to those guys when you get them. Because Peterson's resume looks great, but yeah, he has just not been able to put it together at all.
Well, it was like within 1 year of winning a Super Bowl in Philly, they were tired of it, and he had a rift with his quarterback. That was weird to me. And I don't sense that anyone's really inspired by him right now with the Jags. He's gotten this first round pick, Trevor Lawrence, and he's been unable to do anything with him. So I think that he's probably like number one coach on the hot seat right now. I'd be surprised if he finishes the season.
Oh yeah, really? I mean, he's gotten slightly worse each year with the Jaguars.
Yeah, he had that playoff win a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Has tailed off.
Sam, we were talking earlier in the show. I got one last question for you. You go back to your 20s, you can change one thing. What is it? I said I would have worn earplugs for the last 35 years. What about you?
Oh, that is such a good question. Probably taking like this and good, eating more seriously earlier, just because those are really good habits to lay, and it's harder the older you get to get into that. So just been more of a cook, more of a chef, gotten in the kitchen a little bit more. I don't know, something health related.
Well, hey, I don't know if you know this. Today is Dads Make Dinner Day in America. So. They have every day is some sort of day. So, dudes are getting in the kitchen and making dinner tonight. Maybe it's a chance to make up for some lost time. Put a nice little salad together. Add some cranberries to that salad. Always dresses it up, classes up the joint a little bit.
Cranberries. They are
great.
good.
Dried cranberries, of course. Dried,
yeah,
of course.
Right. Yeah, of course.
Sam, thank you, brother. We appreciate it.
But have a good one.
See ya. I'll take that pick, 31-19 Minnesota. I wouldn't be surprised if it's even more of a blowout. If you're the Jacksonville Jaguars, I mean, what in the world are you playing for? You're just making business decisions on every snap. I got to stay healthy. I got to get a new contract. I'm going to look good. I'm not going to get hurt. I mean, that is a moribund franchise, as they say.
Yeah, cranberries.
Man. I mean, come on, it's the holiday season. I'm just picturing those dried cranberries in a salad. I see those. I'm always like, ooh, I bet there's some pecans or walnuts in here too.
Oh.
Ooh, purple onion. Hey, come on. It's the little things, guys. It's the little things. Come on, we all know how this works, don't we? Don't we?
Yes.
Or no, though. Sorry, that's shall we. I like that.
Shall we?
Yeah, it's always good stuff. There's let's see. I got to talk about this Eagles gig. Although I seem to have lost my way here.
Well, since you didn't you mention just Pee Wee Herman a moment ago?
Mm-hmm. Oh, did I?
Yeah. Oh, wasn't that shall we? Wasn't that Pee Wee Herman?
Oh, I just take it from it is. I mean, I always think about unfun facts, the intro, but yeah.
Just a minute!
Yeah, I just happened to read today that today was the day Paul Rubens pleaded no contest to charges of, I guess, very indecent exposure in Sarasota, Florida.
Oh, wow.
When he pulled out his little
masturbation thing.
Yeah, the Pee Wee thing. Yeah. By the way, you said movie theater masturbation. It was a porn movie theater, which I thought that's what you did in there. I didn't know you could get arrested for that. Wasn't ever my thing to hang out in a movie theater with a bunch of other pervs and our wieners out, but. I mean, keep it in context. He was in a porn theater, for crying out loud.
No, poor Pee Wee.
Oh, man, come on.
Yeah.
Good guy right there.
To use the phone!
That's not all he was trying to use. Okay, let's do it. The Eagles have added more shows in 2025 for their residency at the Sphere in Las Vegas. You could be there, for crying out loud. Why don't you do your best to try to score a trip for two with flights, a 2-night stay at the Venetian Resort Las Vegas, and tickets to the concert, plus a VIP experience package? Right now, text the national keyword LANE, L-A-N-E, to 95819 for a chance to win. The top 5 at 9 is up next. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. You're listening to the KQ Morning Show. Steve, Zepp, Tony, and Ryder on 92 KQRS.
Stoopers, the first name in frozen dinners, now introduces their new line of Bachelor Classics.
Bachelor Classics, that's for me. I like to eat.
Simple, that's the key. Simple, quick, and easy meals that every bachelor loves and can actually make themselves. Classics, like the plain uncooked hot dog, the fried bologna sandwich, peanut butter you eat with your fingers,
I've had that.
the bowl of pudding, the big bag of chips, the handful of ham, the leftover cold pizza sitting out overnight.
Yeah.
Stoopers' new Bachelor Classics. Frozen entrees that are ridiculously simple. They all take just 1 minute in the microwave. You can push the 1 minute button, right?
I think so.
Sure you can. Try them all.
All at once?
No, you idiot. Enjoy the variety as you attempt to feed yourself on your own. Try the new Bachelor Classics from Stoopers, because face it, you're helpless.
I like meat.
I like meat, too. It's Thursday, November 7th. This is the KQ Morning Show. I saw a video on Instagram of a guy making a quesadilla in his toaster. Have you seen this?
Oh, yes,
Oh, yeah, you
I
tip
was
it on
like,
its
dude,
side.
I should try this.
Yeah, you do it. You fold it over and do it. You stick it in the toaster. And I tried it. And by God, it worked.
Really?
And I felt like I had come up with, like, I turned base gold into... base metals into gold. It was like the secret art of alchemy. I pulled that thing out and I ate it, and that cheese was melted. And I was like, oh my God, my life is never going to be the same. Magical moment for the kid there. And, something I might put into effect tonight, because tonight, as we start the top 5 at 9, the 5 most important stories of the day, at least around here, tonight is National Men Make Dinner Day. That's right. Men make dinner.
If you said you'd made quesadillas using like the sofa, I would have been impressed. But isn't a toaster just a different kind of microwave?
Well, I just
or
didn't
oven or toaster oven.
I look
or
at
air
my
fryer?
toaster and I think half a bagel or a slice of bread. That's all I think is legally. I mean, if you told me anything else was against the law, it's like that tag on the mattress: "Don't remove." And I think the toaster should say only bagels, English muffins, or bread.
Expand your mind, man.
It was a real.
Yeah.
It was a mind eraser, is what it was. I had to start from scratch with what I realized this little implement was capable of.
Nice.
It's fantastic. Anyway, it's National Men Make Dinner Day today. So, fellas, start planning right now. Hit that grocery store on the way home from work. Put together a special meal. I'll say it again. If you're going to make a salad, just get some dried cranberries. Really classes the joint up wherever your joint is.
You're an aristocrat.
I am an aristocrat.
Fancy.
Let's see. I was thinking about this. I said something earlier about I do a nice lasagna. I do some chili recipes, but maybe I will make dinner tonight, and maybe I'll go off script. Maybe I'll come up with something wholly new. Maybe I'll find that recipe I've always kind of wished I had the guts to try.
Google toaster recipes.
That's a pretty good.
Yeah,
idea
I want to hear
right
about
there.
more things that you're going to put in this toaster now that your mind has been blown.
Can you make a meal out of a toaster? Wouldn't that just be a snack or something?
Well, it's really just how many of it you make. I still remember the first time I saw one of those things, a Snack Master, which is like, do you ever see that, the Snack Master? It's like a waffle iron, but you make a sandwich and you toast the sandwich in that thing.
Yes.
I was probably almost 30 the first time I ever saw one used, and I, of course, went out and bought one, and for like a week, all I had was toasted sandwiches, and then I put it away and never used it again.
Like a juicer.
Yeah,
Your
exactly.
George Foreman grill.
Very much so. Hey, by the way, not only did I once buy a juicer that I used briefly and loved and then forgot about, I bought my mom a juicer in the 90s. She was in her 60s, and I'm like, oh, she'll love this. Yeah, thanks, honey. I said, see, Mom, you just put the carrots and the celery and you get a nice fresh juice. And we made it together, and she drank it. She goes, that was delicious. And probably 5 years later, I said, Mom, did you ever ever after I left town, did you ever use that juicer again? And she just smiled sweetly. No, honey. No.
Would she have to get like 15 pounds of carrots for one glass?
I was thinking of, she's getting up there in age. She's got to stay healthy.
Yeah, we got my mom a bread maker. She said, "Oh, thanks. I have a lot to do every day, but now I have to make you frickin' bread."
Exactly.
Yeah, thank you. Get yourself a bread maker.
Didn't really occur to me that my mom had exactly what she needed and wanted already. Let me complicate this.
It's like getting Dad another hammer. I don't know what the hell to get you, but just a big hug, Mom.
Yeah. Really, man. Trust me, that's all they want. Just pay attention and get the hell out of my way. Number 4 in your top 5 at 9, Art Weston, my new favorite guy. Art Weston was out on Lake Mille Lacs late last month, and he brought in a muskie. And I don't mean your average muskie. This thing was as big as Edward Muskie, the old politician. Or was it Edwin? No, I don't know who it was. My man Art Weston brought in a 54-inch muskie.
And it's not fishing, by the way. Not for the serious muskie anglers. That's muskie hunting, they call it. You go out hunting muskie in the middle of the night.
The International Game Fish Association is looking into this. It's pending and under review as to whether or not this is the longest muskie and whether he was able to release the fish safely. They got to go through the protocols there. By the way, Art Weston holds world records for 9 different species of fish. I don't know what this guy's doing, but it's working.
Yeah, no kidding.
Good.
Well, you're not going to get it out of him. He's not going to tell you. But
hell no, he's not.
I wonder if he's like a professional dude, or he just one of those guys that's just a hell of a lot better at it than everyone else.
Oddly enough, he's a VP at a local bank branch. Go figure. No.
Banker's hours,
I'm making that up. I don't know what the hell he does other than catch a lot of great fish. Number 3 on your top 5 at 9, Rachel Gunn has retired from her professional career. If you're thinking to yourself, the cooking lady? No, that's Rachel Ray. Rachel Gunn, you remember her as Ray Gunn from the Paris Olympics of 2024. Competitive breaking, the Australian lass who is a worldwide sensation for what apparently was an Olympic event, the breakdancing. She said, "I'm still going to break, but I'm just not going to compete." I think she wants to remove the trials and tribulations of international competition and just get back to the art.
Yeah.
Get back to the art form. Or the fart orm, or whatever it may be.
Who's still quoting this ding dong?
Well, in Australia, come on, man, she's huge. I don't know if that's.
I didn't see her. How big is she?
She's
54 inches.
If she was 54 inches, that's right.
Nice. Get her in the boat.
If she were playing rugby, she'd be a prop. I mean, that's how big she. Just look up your rugby positions if you need clarification. No, this is a woman who was probably behind the scenes a big part of why the Olympics brought breakdancing to the games, and was single-handedly a huge reason as to why they said we're not doing that again. Got all these people out there doing, like these athletic pursuits that are just the most inspiring, exhilarating, mind-boggling pursuits of athletic excellence. And then this chick walks out and she's like, "Let me see if I can spin on my hip for you, man."
It was damn entertaining. But she's no Eddie the Eagle.
Oh, no, she was, but she's in the
Actually,
same.
That's exactly what she was.
She's in the short list of people that Eddie the Eagle inspired, for sure.
Yeah.
If only she'd been wearing some Coke bottle thick glasses, that would have really topped off the whole thing. Number 2 on your top 5 at 9, if she were to return to the Olympics, maybe you'd be able to place a wager in Minnesota. The word on the street, Minnesota is gaining momentum to legalize sports betting. Running Aces Casino has now decided they've switched course from last year. They said, "No, we're behind this. Let's do it." This has been going back and forth for years, the debate over legalizing sports betting in Minnesota. And now Running Aces says, yeah, let's get this bad boy up and running. The main thing to me, my first thought was, well, the NFL playoffs start real soon. Let's get this going, shall we? I mean, you're going to miss a huge windfall if you miss. That's where the money comes in, man. Once the NFL season's over.
No, I think it's funny that you just said to our Minnesota legislature, "Hey, let's get this done quickly." Yeah. If they get this frickin' thing done before I can legally buy weed in Minnesota, I don't know. Maybe I'll be the one moving to Canada. I don't know, but I mean, they don't do anything quickly, especially when it comes to vices, when it comes to fun, things people want to do. But with a split house, I'm sure they'll race this right through.
Everybody wants to lose too much money on sports. That's universal. That's left, right, red, blue. That's all of us. We all love thinking we know a lot about sports and wasting our time and money on it. Come on, man. That's a universal truth right there.
How many divorces will this cost?
Oh gosh, what are you kidding? I mean, that's it's funny because one of the key lobbying groups is the Divorce Attorneys Association of America. They're right there in the middle of it.
I bet.
The Divorce Attorney, the DAAA. That's right, the DA. Hey, Robbinsdale, what's happening? Good morning to our friends and listeners in Robbinsdale.
Whiz-bang days.
Ryder, you're from Robbinsdale.
Yeah.
No,
I've driven through like one time.
Well, I mean, hey, man, that's a start. That's a start.
I don't know if they still do whiz-bang days up there anymore. That's their big summer. I don't know. I used to play softball in their tournament up there every year many years ago when I had knees that operated.
The Robbinsdale slogan, if you lived here, you'd be home.
Yeah.
No, sorry, that's an apartment complex I saw once. Finally, number one on your top 5 at 9. And this is a real drag.
Yeah.
Chippewa Falls Leinenkugel's Brewery done as of January 2025. Parent company Molson Coors announced yesterday, out of the blue, we're closing down the Leinenkugel Brewery that has been there for over 157 years, and we're going to move all Leinenkugel Brewing properties to Milwaukee. Molson Coors, you suck. There, I've said it.
All right.
That town, Chippewa Falls, lovely community. The Leinenkugel guys, great hang over there at the Leinie Lodge, and now the brewery, which is that's dozens and dozens and dozens of jobs. Yeah, sorry, we're done as of January. We got to limit costs. There's a whole press release where they're talking about there's 19.2 ounce cans, and those are better done in Milwaukee. And it's all about cans and all this nonsense no one cares about. This just sounds to me like your typical corporate bean counter guy was like, hey, that thing that's been happening in that small town in Wisconsin, that idyllic little setup we had for 157 years, screw it. Let's go to Milwaukee.
Yeah, I think it'll affect. Not to mention our beer's going to be one day less fresh, having to be trucked all the way over from Milwaukee, our Leinie's instead of Chippewa Falls. But here's the thing. Leinie's Lodge will remain there. There'll be a reason to go there and hang out and do some things. And, and I love the Leinie's brand, but this makes me not want to drink more Leinie's.
It's a real drag. I just think about everybody in that community, in that town, that's been a part of that world for again, since 1867, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
A real drag. And Molson Golden sucks. That beer is like piss. So there, I said it.
It does. No, you're right. It is like piss. And if you Google Molson Coors, they own about 50 million brands of things. They're a multi-global conglomerate. You can't leave this thing open and, maybe just break even on it or take a hair bit of a loss or, I don't know, take $1 less million for your quarterly bonus.
No, that's it. Bonuses need to be paid, Brian. You know how this goes.
Oh, I do.
It's a total drag. Anyway, we're thinking about all of our friends over in Leinenkugel, man.
Yeah.
Sorry, it sucks.
Get the KQ Morning Show podcast wherever you listen. 92 KQRS.